I'm Paola Agostini. I'm a lead natural resource specialist at the World Bank, and I've been working on landscape restoration for over 20 years, really being a big fan of the Global Landscape Forum. And I'm glad to be back here in New York now. IKExxx 30 is an initiative for forest and landscape restoration in Europe, Caucasus, and Central Asia. And it all started because when I was the global lead for landscape at the World Bank, I noticed that all the regions from Latin America to Africa to the Mediterranean had an initiative to support them to implement the Bond Challenge. But when I started working on Central Asia, they didn't even really know what the Bond Challenge was or any of this landscape concept and landscape restoration. So that's when we were there, we realized how important it would be to actually bring Central Asia into and Caucasus into these international movements to really help restore the very degraded rangeland that they have and mountains in the Caucasus. So it's very important because landscape restoration is important to reduce poverty and to increase shared prosperity. Landscape restoration is important for every sector. It's not important only for the environment, it's not important only for agriculture, but actually if you are doing a transport, you need to restore the roads in the landscape through having more trees or better sustainable land management. It's important if you have mining because you have to adjust the land after you mined, or it's important if you have fuel wood collection because you need to have a permanent source of fuel wood. So every sector benefits from landscape restoration. So this is why it's really important that we now, when we have more than 2 billion hectares of degraded lands in the world, we look at the positive side and think that this is actually landscape restoration opportunities. So IKExxx 30 is going to really have a different entry points from the other partnership related to landscape restoration in our region, because in IKExxx it will have as a first and most important entry point water. It's a very water scarce region. It's a dry land. In Central Asia, you have 5 countries that are completely dry lands. Only in 2 countries you have some water, and other countries need to receive the water from the mountain part. And in addition, there are some man-made disasters like the RC. Where we had one of the biggest lakes in the world, and due to agricultural production and irrigation, it's this lake that was the number 4th lake in the world is now 1/10 of its size. So we are going to save the creeks that are still available with planting around the rivers. We are going to plant in the RLC bed some special tree called the saxao that are the only trees that can really grow in this very harsh condition and with a lot of salinity. And this will also help to reduce the dust that is really affecting the health of the communities who live close to the RLC, because this dust is full of chemicals. And we are going to also to restore the degraded pastoral land. This is an area, Central Asia, where you have a lot of traditional way of doing rangeland management and pastoral lands. So by adding more trees, we will increase the fertility of the soil, decrease the wind, and provide better fodder for the livestock. So one of the things that I said as I noticed when I started to work in this region is that they are not so prominent in the international world, and they are huge regions with a lot of problems related to climate change and related to degraded lands. And I think that mainly they haven't, there is a problem of maybe some language barriers, and this is why we have not been at the center of international attention. That's the first. The second one is because we've been always talking about tropical forest, and I'm now sort of really trying to change that. We need to be encompassing and talk about all forest, which is in the north or in the south. And one of the interesting things of ECA 30 is that it will try to include Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Caucasus, and Central Asia. We are all the same. This is a partnership that wants to unify countries all towards the same goal. And with that, I hope we will be able to bring also this kind of temperate forest into the pictures of all the three conventions.